Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we will be discussing a little bit more on the statistics. Again, these are direct questions that have been asked in the previous question papers. Sensitivity and specificity for 2 to 3 marks each, and positive and negative predictive value again for 2 to 3 marks each. So let us see what this is and let us see how we can write an answer. So what is the need for these sort of calculations in statistics? So you need to know whether a diagnostic test or a diagnostic definition is going to actually say what it is going to measure or define. So that is validity. And how do you know that? You interpret whatever results are coming out of the diagnostic test. You need to know whether it is good, whether it is reliable. Reliable as in whether will you be able to reproduce the same results, whether you will be able to know every time you get a result that it is going to be correct. False positive and false negative rates. So what are the chances of that in a specific test? All of this you will get from your sensitivity, specificity and predictive values. You need to know where to apply this test, when to apply this test, how to apply this test, whether it is going to help you rule in a disease or rule out a disease, or whether it is going to be the end point of testing for that particular patient, so that once the result comes, the patient can be shifted over for treatment. For all of these things, you need these calculations. So let us start with an example. This example I will be taking throughout the current lecture. Okay. So on here we have patients who have the disease and who do not have the disease. Okay. And on this side you have positive test and negative test. So here you have the investigation that is in question. Correct? And here you have either you know for sure this patient is affected, or you have a gold standard test proving that they have the disease or they don't have the disease. Okay. Here you have a population of total 100. Among them you can see that 20 of them actually have the disease and 80 of them don't. And when you apply a test, this particular test, you see that 15 are turning out to be positive, whereas despite them having the disease, 5 are turning out to be negative. Correct? Next column. There are 80 people who do not have the disease, and when you apply this test to this normal population, you have 30 of them still testing positive and 50 of them are turning out to be negatives. Clear till now? So you have a total of 45 patients who are testing positive and 55 patients who are testing negative at the end of the day. Clear? So to further qualify each and every category, so among a total of 20 people who are having the disease, only 15 are testing positive. So they are true positives, meaning this testing is actually telling 15% have the disease and they actually have the disease. 5 are testing negative despite having the disease. Okay, they are having the disease, but this test is telling they don't. That means it is falsely telling they do not have the disease. Next, there are 30 people who do not have the disease, but this test is telling them they have. That is a false positive test. There are 50 people who do not have the disease and the test is telling them the same, that they do not have the disease. So it means it is a true negative. Clear till now? An ideal test, you want this false positive and false negative rate to be less. How do you calculate a prevalence from this? Among a total of 100 population, you have 20 people who have the disease. So prevalence is 20 by 100, which will be 20%. Let us jump into next. Few more words. Accuracy versus precision. Accuracy is how close the diagnostic test results are to the truth. That means how well is it predicting a true positivity or a true negativity. Both are important for us. You need to know for sure who do not have the disease as well as for sure who have the disease. So that is where your term sensitivity, specificity, positive and negative predictive value comes in. Precision is how close the diagnostic test results are to each other. Suppose on day 1 this test is coming out positive and day 2 this test is coming out negative. Or in a quantifiable test, say this test is telling today this patient is having X number of antibodies, and the next day the same test is telling the patient does not have any antibodies, then it is not precise at all because you are not able to reproduce the same results. Correct? It is a measure of technical specification. The more accurate or more fine-tuned the technical specification is, the more repeatable your test will be. So sensitivity and specificity. Sensitivity is proportion of people with a condition who are testing positive, or in other words, probability that a test will indicate disease among those with the disease. So there are people with the disease and you are doing test, and among those how many of them are actually going to be positive in the test. That is sensitivity. Specificity is proportion of people without the condition who test negative, or probability that a test will be negative among those without the disease. To put it simply, sensitivity and specificity are function or characteristics of the test. It does not depend on the population, it does not depend on the prevalence. Let us see with the same example. Okay. So sensitivity is proportion of people with the condition who test positive. Who are all the people with the condition? There are 20 people with a condition, and among them what is the proportion that is testing positive? This is 15, correct? So sensitivity will be by A and C, which is this total amount who are deceased, or true positive divided by true positive and false negative. So that will be 75%. So how will you interpret such a result? It means when the test is coming out positive, you can expect 75% of those to be actually having the disease. This is sensitivity. Coming to specificity, the same table, same set of examples. Proportion of people without the condition who test negative. So here who are the people without condition? There are 80 people who do not have the disease. And among them how many are testing actually negative? 50 people. So how will you calculate specificity? It is this 50 or proportion who are testing negative divided by total people who are actually negative. That is true negative by true negative and false positive. Correct? So this is 62.5%. How do you interpret this 62.5%? It means when the test is going to turn out negative, 62.5% among them actually do not have the disease. That is specificity. Next, coming to predictive values. Predictive value is proportion of people testing positive who have the condition. And negative predictive value is proportion of people testing negative who do not have the condition. Now this looks very eerily similar to your specificity and sensitivity, but it is not actually so. I'll tell you why. These values are influenced by prevalence of the disease in population that is being tested, as well as sensitivity and specificity. Okay. So in a given case, if sensitivity and specificity of a particular test is remaining stable, this will get affected by prevalence of the disease in a particular population. So let us see how we calculate first, and then we will come to the next part. Positive predictive value. This is the proportion of people testing positive who have the condition. So here, who are the people who are testing positive? This is 45. See, note you are taking the horizontal section here or the rows, whereas for sensitivity and specificity you are calculating from the columns. Correct? So here 45 are the people who are testing positive, and among them who have the condition, there are 15 people who have the condition. So proportion will be 15 by 45, or true positive divided by true positive and false positive. Correct? So 15 by 45, which is 33% approximately. So what is the interpretation? So proportion of people testing positive who have the condition. Interpretation will be 33% of people who are testing positive will have this condition. Coming to next, negative predictive value. So negative predictive value is proportion of people testing negative who do not have the condition. So who are the people testing negative? There are 55 people who have tested negative with this particular test. And among them, how many of them actually do not have the disease? It is 50. So your calculation will be proportion 50 by 55 or true negatives divided by all negatives, true and false negatives. That will be 90%. So what will be the interpretation? There are 90% of people testing negative and they do not have the condition. Or in other words, there are so many people who have tested negative and 90% among them actually do not have the disease. That will be your negative predictive value. So let us see how predictive value is going to change with prevalence. So this is our standard table that we have been using throughout this lecture. So what I have done here, I have increased the prevalence. Where in a population of 100 only 20 had the disease, in this population 40 of them have the disease. And I have adjusted these numbers in testing positives and negatives to make sure the specificity and sensitivity is remaining same. Meaning the test is functioning with the same capacity as that of the previous population. Only difference, the prevalence has increased. So if you calculate here the positive predictive value, you can see that this has become 57.7% compared to 33% in the previous population. And negative predictive value, if you see, it has become 79% comparing to 90%. So what do you know from this? If you increase the prevalence of the disease, keeping the test same or the test characteristics same, it increases the positive predictive value and reduces the negative predictive value. So when you are considering any sort of predictive value, you have to keep in mind what is the particular prevalence of the disease in your population that you are testing. This is applicable for both confirmatory and screening tests. So even with a highly specific and sensitive diagnostic test, suppose the disease is going to be very uncommon in the people that you are testing, then a large proportion of positive results that you are getting will be false positives, and positive predictive value hence will be very low. So what other points can you add? Suppose they ask a short note on specificity, sensitivity, positive predictive value or negative predictive value, whatever it may be. You need to say that this is important for testing the accuracy of a particular test, and this is important for quantifying the performance of a test, a case definition or a specific algorithm. Okay. And what is required for a screening test? You need to have high sensitivity to make sure you don't miss out on any actual positive cases. Doesn't matter if you have a few false positives, but you are not missing out any patients who are having the disease. You can always rule out these extra false positives by doing a better confirmatory test. So this confirmatory test, how it should be? This confirmatory should have a high true negativity or a high specificity, so that if this test is going to come negative, you know for sure this person is not having a disease. So a confirmatory test should have a high specificity and a screening test should ideally have a high sensitivity. So if you add on all these points, I think it is enough for us to write a 3-mark or a 5-mark question. Thank you all for your patient listening. Hope I have made this topic as simple as possible. If you like the content of my channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon notification next to it so that you get instant messages whenever I post a video. If you want me to discuss any more topics, please leave down in the comment section. Thank you all.